Welcome to the show, everybody. Joseph Robert Camo, the fantasy football counselor. In this video, we are talking about scary picks. Yes, picks you probably might want to avoid based on the situation, based on the player, based on the history of that player. I mean, the last thing we want, guys, is to draft a Michael Thomas again. So we're going to be talking about potential busts here for fantasy football 2021. And again, a lot of things don't scare me, right? I don't get scared, but these are some scary picks based on ADP because they're very high. Some of these players are unproven. Some of these players have busted before, yet they still remain high on the consensus rankings. So we're going to dive into some high ADP players and even some mid-range to lower-end players that might be scary picks to draft on your roster. Because, again, the last thing you want is a 2020 Michael Thomas bust or a Kenyon Drake bust or an Austin Eckler bust and so many more players, Lamar Jackson round 2 bust. So we're going to talk about it. I just want to have an open discussion here about some scary picks for fantasy football 2021, okay? Before we get into that, guys, manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLINE. Amazing product, navigational light. Don't worry about nicks and cuts. You guys are going to be very happy with your purchase. Father's Day is around the corner. Manscaped.com. Use promo code SHOWERLION. You're going to save yourself 20% on their product there on your order. Again, manscaped.com is what I use. They've got the Lawnmower 4.0 available. I've got it in the background here. But also, this is the 3.0. Again, amazing product. That's the one I use. I got to upgrade to the 4.0. But manscaped.com, use promo code SHOWERLION. Also, guys, if you do want to be in a best ball league, the spots are filling up very fast, up to $1,000 in prizes. It's free to enter. All you got to do is click on the link here below here on YouTube. Once you sign up to Fantrax, DM me. All you guys, it's a little bit of proactiveness here, guys. I got to send you a private link for this. So Fantrax, that's fantrax.com/FFC. Okay, very simple. Fantrax.com/FFC. Sign up, register, DM me at Fantasy Football Counselor. I'm in, and I'll send you a link. Also, a link here below if you guys are on YouTube. Very easy. Click on it, sign up, DM me, I'm in, and I'll send you a private link for a best ball league up to $1,000 worth of prizes, and it's filling up very fast. So make sure you guys get in and get the 16-round draft solution right here below. First ever and only video training and help you guys crush your leagues. All right, here we go. Let's talk about scary picks. I'm just going to have an open discussion. We're just hanging out here. And again, I'm going to talk to you like you're my best friend. We're sitting here, we're hanging out, and I'm going to go over pretty much the top 4 positions, obviously QB, RB, wide receiver, tight end. Don't worry about defense or kicker, IDP, nothing like that. But we got to talk about some guys that are scary and their ADP is really high. So first guy here, let's start off quarterback here. I'm really concerned. I had to put this guy on the front of my poster here, the artwork here for YouTube, is Jalen Hurts, okay? First and foremost, I don't trust the Eagles. Yes, they drafted Devontae Smith, and I get it. Yes, it shows me they've invested in a good wide receiver, which is good, right? There's some upside, but what is he going to do in the NFL? We don't know. So now you've got Jalen Hurts, a guy who's, throwing 6 touchdowns in the NFL, right? You know, there's speculation on whether he's going to be the starter. You know, there's that in the question. Again, what has he done? He finished 35th amongst quarterbacks last year. And I get it. Listen, he didn't play, right? Like, he hasn't played. But based on what he has played, I'm not seeing anything here that's like, oh my God, like, I got to draft this guy. Like, what has he done? 6 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 1,061 yards. Like, I'm not seeing anything, 3 rushing touchdowns. I mean, kind of showing us that he's a threat. But the fact that the Chiefs just have him in the top 10 is ludicrous. And I understand the upside. Like, I get it. But a guy like Matt Ryan has been proven, who's got a better wide receiver core, right? You got Trevor Lawrence below him, which I think is also another guy that's got a big ceiling. You got Carson Wentz, who's now going to be behind a good O-line. You know, he's way below him at 16. Again, Hurts sitting at number 9. Tom Brady, proven, right? You've got Ryan Tannehill, also another guy that's proven. And I can keep going on here with other guys that could finish ahead of Jalen Hurts. But again, I definitely see the ceiling. I see the upside, but I don't trust him. It's a scary pick for me. I personally would stay away. And if you guys listen to my 16-round draft session, you know that I anchor my team with an ace quarterback and back him up with a wild card player. Jalen Hurts would be a good backup with massive upside, but not as my ace quarterback, not a guy I definitely trust. So Jalen Hurts, to me, is a scary pick, okay? Another scary pick here, and he's sitting 4th. Guy finished 10th last year amongst quarterbacks, is Lamar Jackson. I mean, I understand Lamar Jackson had a good 20 what was it, 2020 year, was it? Yeah, 2019 year. 2020, he kind of busted based on ADP, but the fact that he's considered a top 4 guy ahead of Dak Prescott, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, Justin Herbert, guys like that, which I think could have bigger seasons. Aaron Rodgers, I think they might have a bit of a decline. He had a pinnacle year last year, but I mean, Lamar Jackson, I get it. He has a good ceiling, finished 10th last year, but you got to understand he doesn't throw the ball a lot. So again, another scary pick. Okay. So I'm just, again, having an open discussion here with you guys, sitting 4th amongst quarterbacks, this year on the consensus rankings, is going to be going high in ADP. Jalen Hurts, another top 10 guy, but scary to draft. Again, I don't get scared. When it comes to my fantasy team, I want to make sure that I've got more security and I answer question marks that are kind of flagged here for me, okay? Another guy that's kind of scary, although I definitely see the ceiling, I like his receivers this year, is Matt Stafford on the Rams. I definitely see the upside on that offense. I like the coaching. I like Cam Akers this year, but it's still Matt Stafford. And again, sitting at number 11, a guy that hasn't finished near the top 10 in fantasy the past couple years. Years to wow us, we're not wowed. I mean, if you look at Matt Stafford, last year, where did he finish? Matt Stafford was 16th. If you go to the year before of that, and again, I look at a little bit of a history. I understand he was on Detroit, and I get it. Where did Matt Stafford finish the year before? I know it was outside the top 10. Where is this guy? He's 29th in 2019. So not a guy in the past couple of years that is showing us that he's a top 10 quarterback. Currently sitting around top 10. I get the upgrade at wide receivers and the offense, and I definitely see a ceiling, but it's an older guy. He's a veteran guy. Kind of what you see is what you get. Maybe some more passing touchdowns, maybe some more receiving yards, but I'm not expecting this big revolutionary year out of Matt Stafford, whereas I love the ceiling with Justin Herbert. You get that young excitement, right? So another scary pick based on the fact that, the old GOAT, years to wow us, we're not wowed. So a little scary there that he's ranked so high, okay? It could be a potential bust, but I think Hurts could be more of a potential bust. I think Stafford's a little bit safer. Let's talk about some running backs here, some scary running back picks. I got to talk about Austin Eckler here. And again, a lot of people disagree with me, but this is a guy that I went on social media, said he was a bust. A lot of people tagged him. He came onto my comments last year and said, Joe, can you explain why I'm a bust? I said, well, listen, you're not a workhorse running back. You're back up to Melvin Gordon, and Melvin Gordon sucks as well. And you couldn't even surpass him on the depth chart. And I understand you're used in the passing game, this and that, but you're not a full, true workhorse running back. And in fantasy football, when I'm drafting a running back in the first round, I expect him to be a full and true workhorse running back. He wasn't it. So when I look at Austin Eckler sitting number 8th in PPR amongst running backs, still in the top 10 here in standard, I look at a guy that I don't trust. And it's scary because, again, I warned you last year and he busted. He got hurt because he couldn't handle that workload. And another situation that's scary is that they did not draft another running back. Now you could say that's a good thing, right? But when you're in a situation where the starting running back, like Mike Davis for the Falcons, for example, like Zach Moss on the Buffalo Bills, Austin Eckler for the Chargers, these guys aren't proven running backs. They're not, Mike Davis, you can make a case that he's done okay, but they're not like workhorse running backs. They're not slated starters. They're not supposed to be starters, and they're sitting at the starting position. That's a scary thing when you draft, and especially invest early draft capital in a guy that hasn't proven that he could be a workhorse running back. So that to me is a scary pick, and I understand the ceiling, and sometimes, you can go for those high ceiling guys and take those risks. I only do that when I've already secured my starters and my workhorse running backs, guys that are guaranteed the volume, and then I start getting some scary picks later, those upside picks, as you say. But you don't want to be scary and scared and have the huge risks early on in your drafts, if that makes sense. So Austin Eckler, to me, is a scary pick. Another scary pick to me, sitting 3rd amongst running backs, is Alvin Kamira. And I get it. This guy is easily an 800 rushing yard guy, 8 to 10 touchdowns, 80 reception kind of guy. But it's a scary situation with Drew Brees being gone. You got Taysom Hill there now, who's going to hoard away some goal line work. So it's a scary thing when you look at Alvin Kamara in a new situation coming off a pinnacle year. That, by the way, was inflated by week 16, 56 points, right? He had 56 points in 1 week, which was like, I don't know how many touchdowns he had that game, like 4 or 5. That inflated his overall number. So you're sitting with him at 3rd. Consensus have like Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry behind him, which I think are more secure running backs. So Alvin Kamara, a bit of a scary pick. Another scary pick is Deandre Swift. The fact that he is sitting ahead of Najee Harris is absolutely ludicrous, considering it is going to be a running back by committee there, an absolute disaster. And the Lions have not proven to have a workhorse running back, a guy that's going to produce on a high top 10 level. And Swift slowly sliding down the ADP, but is relatively high, sitting at number 14. I don't trust them. I just do not trust the Lions. I do not trust Swift. I do not trust the situation. And again, that is a scary pick if you ask me, okay? So those are some scary running back picks that I think. Nick Chubb, top 10 still after getting injured, coming off injury with Kareem Hunt outscoring him 2 years in a row. That's a little scary for me as well. Talking about wide receivers. Now, we don't want the Michael Thomas thing to happen at all. I think Davante Adams is a scary pick in the first round. Now, people will say, Joel, you're wrong. You're crazy. Aaron Rodgers, they're connecting. But there's some Aaron Rodgers drama, and it has lowered the ADP of Aaron Rodgers and some other Green Bay Packers, and I get it. But Davante Adams is currently sitting number 2, number 1, number 2, depending on which consensus Sheeps's magazine or rankings you're looking at, or what league you're in, what fantasy hosts your league, right? They have the ADPs when you do mock drafts. They have these guys ranked in a particular order. So Davante Adams typically number 1, number 2. Again, you're investing an early pick on this guy, coming off a pinnacle 18 touchdown season. Now, if you say, well, you factor in a regression of 18 touchdowns, let's say he gets 12. Based on volume alone, you could make an argument that he still could be a top wide receiver. And I get it. And I totally get it. But again, you're dealing with a guy who has had injuries in the past, coming off a Cinderella year, 18 touchdowns, and you're investing an early draft pick predicated on the fact that he did really well last year. You guys aren't accounting for, a possible regression, possible injury. Again, what goes up must come down. And sometimes people have multiple good years, and it happens. But again, am I investing in a wide receiver? I'm going robust RB. You heard me say that 100 times, but it's scary to invest in a wide receiver early in general. We saw with Michael Thomas last year, and I give you these examples every single year. Again, I'm going to stay away. You get a ton of value at wide receiver. So Adams, potential bust this year based on his current ADP, okay? Tyreek Hill as well, that's a scary pick because, again, you're investing a first-round pick on a guy who's not a volume receiver, a guy that has some inflated games, certain games, very touchdown-dependent. On an offense that throws the ball, yes, that works to an advantage, but they've got a lot of receiving options. So Tyreek Hill, another scary pick there. Anytime you have to invest in a wide receiver coming off a pinnacle year early in the draft is a scary situation. I'm going to stay away, okay, completely. So you see that, again, like Justin Jefferson sitting at 7th. I got him in the 8th round and suggested him in the 8th round in the 16-round draft solution last year. Sitting at 7th is absolutely ludicrous. I'd rather have Adam Thielen, who's a value at 22nd overall amongst the wide receiver rankings, okay? Other scary picks at wide receiver, let me give you one more here. I'm going to go with Amari Cooper again at 14, simply because I don't like the fact that, he's peaked at 120, 125 targets. He doesn't peak really high in regards to volume, and you have to spend a relatively high draft capital to get him. Not only that, you got to pair him up. Like, he's sitting there with Michael Gallup, who's equally and probably even a better receiver than Cooper. You can make a debate. And you've also got CeeDee Lamb, high draft capital on him. It's a three-headed monster, right? And you got Dak Prescott come back. I get it. But how much volume is he going to get? Not much. And you got to spend a relatively high draft pick on him. We're talking like 3rd, 4th round. I know it's not that high, but still, you're investing. You could be getting another running back. You could be getting a wide receiver 1, a true wide receiver 1 at that point, a guy that's going to get more volume. So to me, that's a scary pick for me, okay? A quick glance at the tight end position. You could say that Hawkinson is scary because his draft capital is early. This is a guy who's getting 9th, 10th round in the years prior. But Hawkinson is set in a position to succeed because they really don't have receivers there in Detroit. They drafted a rookie, Amon-Ra St. Brown, appealing, exciting, and I get it. And I love the ceiling of Hawkinson, but he's a scary, fun pick. I would actually probably consider it because he is a tight end, and you could get him for value later. Scary, but kind of exciting, right? Kyle Pitts, totally scary pick if Julio Jones stays there. If Julio Jones gets shipped off, could be an exciting pick, sitting 6th amongst tight ends. A little bit of a scary pick, but again, another exciting scary with some high ceiling, right? Kelsey, not so scary, but he comes off early. He's always consistent. With tight end, again, there isn't any huge variance. You have your top go-getters, right? You have the guy that kind of breaks up. Maybe it's a Pitts or something, becomes a top 3-4 guy next year. There's guys that could kind of, Robert Tonyan, guys like that could emerge and come up. There isn't a guy that really scares me at tight end because I don't really invest in tight end early. And if you do invest in tight end early, you're getting a Waller and Kelsey, and those guys are relatively proven, okay? So Scary if you invest in those guys early simply because you are losing an opportunity to get a running back. But there isn't a tight end that scares me particularly because I'm not investing very early on those guys, okay? So, again, I gave you guys some scary picks, but again, with upside, right? You got that uncertainty, which means, again, upside. Sorry, I should say. Uncertainty equals upside sometimes, but again, it could catastrophically bust for you, okay? So those are some scary picks, some picks that I'm probably going to be avoiding. I may go Hawkinson if I get him for good value, guys like that in the right ADP. But if you want to take risks, if you want to get some scary picks, guys that you're uncertain about, make sure you secure your sneaky 7, as I say, in the 16-round draft solution before you start really gambling on some of these guys, okay? Those are some scary picks for you. Subscribe, thumbs up. Let me know below. Give me a scary pick. Love to hear and love to see who you think is a scary pick, okay, guys? Subscribe, thumbs up, and, of course, DM me. I'm in after you've clicked on the link for fantrax.com to get in the best ball league, okay? We'll talk soon. Thumbs up. I'm out.